Hi guys, Greg at Best Choice Trailers. Today we're going to take a walk around a new 2021 Load Trail DT10. I wouldn't say the model's new and improved, but it is new or different anyway. 99%'s the same, but we'll show you the mainframe on this is different. It used to have a traditional 6-inch channel tongue and 6-inch channel frame. For 2021, they've gone to the I-beam, same as the 7-foot wide, 14,000 pound models. So everything you see on this trailer is standard, and I'll add believe it or not, because there are a lot of features standard on this. This would be our most full-featured dump in our 6-wide Low Pros that we stock out of about 6 different brands. So let's take a walk around it. We'll show you all the features on this, but again, it's a Load Trail DT10. So this is a 6x12. It's going to weigh in empty at about 3,600 pounds. It's going to give a net legal payload of about 64, plus your tongue weight. Tongue weight's going to average at least 10%. Traditionally, you can figure more like 15. So 15% of 10,000, roughly, you're going to scale about 1,500 pounds on the truck side. Ideal for something like this would be a half-ton truck. Roughly would be your minimum. If it's commercial duty, we'd love to see you in a 3/4 ton. Starting out up front, it's got an adjustable coupler. It's 2 5/16 inch ball. It is a cast style coupler. These cast style couplers are a little bit different. Forward is open, backward is closed. Again, it is cast, not a stamp. A little bit heavier duty. Notice they gusset it up front. It's got a traditional 7K jack. If you're not familiar, you'd simply pull a pin, let the inner leg drop down. Your handle there would wind your outer legs, so a lot of adjustment, no need to carry around any wood blocks or similar. Notice there is safety chains as required by law, your Load Trail embossed reflector tape. Now you notice there is reflector tape, but speaking of, reflector tape is not required on a 10K trailer. That's a little add-on that they throw on. Cold weather wiring harness equipped on this particular trailer. You notice it's cold weather because it's blue in color. It just means it'll stay flexible down to negative temperatures. I believe there it'll show negative 57 Celsius, negative 70 Fahrenheit. It's got a 7-pin RV plug, standard on most all trucks current day. Notice it's got grease zerks for serviceability. This unit's equipped with a built-in 110-volt charger. Simply plug an extension cord to it with house current. It'll keep your battery maintained. It's also 232 protected. If we zoom in there, 2-year comprehensive on a trailer, 3-year structural on what Load Trail would weld and fab, and then 2-year roadside assist. Roadside assist is kind of unique to the industry. They give you vehicle lockouts, vehicle fluid delivery, hydraulic, etc. All the information is on Load Trail's website. So this mechanism is pretty cool for the toolbox. It's not a gas shock. It's nothing that can really be broken or wore out over time. Simply come up, it latches, and then you'd simply pull it back to let it release. Kind of neat setup. Oftentimes we'll see manufacturers at the toolbox will flop open and guys will eventually destroy it from not paying attention. Just takes one time to sandwich it and break it. Troubleshooting guide for KTI pumps, pretty slick. They put that in there. If you ever have a problem, you can get a pretty good idea what it is. If you don't know what it is or can't use the chart or don't want to use the chart, feel free to give us a ring. We're pretty adept at any hydraulic related issues. Speaking of hydraulic related issues, if you have a dump now or are upgrading, batteries are by far and away the most common issue on 12-volt systems. Normally we find a lack of battery charge will make it look like there's a problem with the pump when generally it just needs the battery to be charged, which is why Load Trail does put the 110-volt chargers on these. Now this may change over time, but right now Load Trail's using a 5 amp-hour charger on this. I was going to show you on the charger itself. Doing quick math, if it's a 140 amp-hour battery and a 5 amp-hour charger, you'd have to charge it at least 25 hours or so from a fully discharged state to get that battery top back off. Don't do the overnight, plug it in at 9 p.m. and go use it at 6 a.m. and expect to get 8 or 10 dumps of topsoil or similar out of it. It's not going to happen. Needs a full day to fully charge. That said, the average hairy homeowner or light commercial, you're probably going to be able to run this thing all season, and the little bit of trickle charge you get off the 7-pin plug is most likely going to give you all you need for charging. If you're a heavy duty commercial user, odds are you're gonna have to use that 110 volt charger periodically. Trailer is powder coated. They use a Sherwin-Williams powder coat. They also use a Dexter brand axle with the never adjust brakes. So this max step is optional. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not, but it does give you a nice big side step if you want to look into bed. Tarp kit on load trail is standard. It's also equipped with a sail bar, which is pretty neat. Sail bar will show you at the back, ties in, just makes it simple. One guy can lift the sail bar up and use this tarp kit. It is in a separate housing enclosure, which is nice. So you'll notice I said earlier about the I-beam. So this is what we would call a monoframe. So from the very front to the very back, this is all going to be an I-beam frame. Then you'll notice also for 21, they've changed this bracket so you can slip any jack in and out if you ever need to replace it. No welding, no nothing. Simply undo those, slip a new one in. Very, very user-friendly there. And as I believe we mentioned earlier, it is a Kti troubleshooting guide to go with the Kti pump. This particular unit, I believe, comes equipped with 20-foot of cord. Some have 12, some have 20. I believe this one here is 20. 20s make it nice so you can go all the way up to your truck bed and dump from the truck if you would like. Now, I said earlier about this being a full-featured or almost deluxe 6-wide dump. Couple of those features. Not every 10K dump has the adjustable coupler. Vast majority will have the bigger jack. A lot won't have that 110 volt charger. Not familiar with too many in the industry that do anything like the 232. But let's keep moving back to trailer. We'll notice the sides on this look a little higher. It's because they are. They're 2 foot. Industry standards normally 18. Occasionally you'll get a 20. That's a 2 foot sidewall. So there's another detail. You get a little more wall. The tarp kit we mentioned earlier does come standard. The majority of 6-wides in the market do not have that as a standard. And then from the top of the wall, if you're keeping score here, to the center of the bed is all made from one piece. That is not industry normal. It's a lot more work, a lot more cost, but they do it on these standard. Not only do they do the 2-piece bed, but that means a few things. One, this is all formed into the trailer. The few that put the keyway on a 6-wide, most are going to take a flat press brake panel and they're going to weld the form piece on the outside. This is actually integrated in, makes it very clean, no rust or whatnot. The ones that form it on, it tends to, water gets on and leaves marks going down it. So we like that. The other thing it does, this is a 10 gauge floor, which also means you've got a 10 gauge wall. A lot in the industry will use a 10 or 11 gauge floor and then they'll lighten up a gauge or two in the wall, go to an 11 or 12 gauge. This is 10 gauge all the way. Okay. Another feature difference. This is going to have a 6-inch tube bed frame. Industry standard for a bed frame is either going to be a 2x3 tube, 2x4 tube, or occasionally a 4-inch angle. So very heavy bed frame on this particular unit. You also notice that they take the time to not only do the long sills on the keyway, but also the front, and they miter the corners. A lot of little detail goes into this particular unit. Moving on, we've got the 6-lug brake assemblies, or the 6-lug wheel. That's traditionally going to be a 5,200 pound axle, which it is on this, but this has a 235 16-inch tire, which would normally be on an 8-lug wheel with a 7K axle. So what they've done here, you've got a 10K GVW trailer, but you've got 14,000 pound of tire. So instead of being a 225 load range D, which would be on a 10K trailer, this has a 235 16-inch load range E, 10 ply. So you've got 14,000 pounds of rubber on a 10K trailer. It's also got the heavier duty tread plate fenders with your gussets front and rear. We said earlier about your Dexter axles. The forward adjust brake simply means, like a car, they self-tension, and throughout the life of the pad, very little maintenance required. No need to adjust your spinner wheel. Also, easy lube hubs. At the end of the hub there, you see the black cap. Behind there's a greaser. You can take flat-bladed screwdriver, or oftentimes just your finger, peel that cap off, and you can service your own bearings. Very simple to do. Very little maintenance. You can't do with basic hand tools as a homeowner anymore on these. Okay, another feature difference. This is going to have a 3-way gate. Most in the industry will probably have a 2-way. Some will just be a barn door. So this here will actually swing open. I'll try to show you with one hand. So basically it'll swing open, and you've got a D-ring catch on these. That will catch on there. It's easier if you got both hands available. So I'll do both sides so we don't bend our door when I put this up. Very simple catch system. You also notice the back door, those hinges are serviceable, greasable. You also notice there's caps on these, so if you want to do side extensions, you pull them out. They make side extension kits available, or you can make your own out of wood or metal as well. You also notice this door has that keyway in. Very strong, sturdy door. A lot in the industry, and there's a better look at how that's keywayed in. A lot in the industry don't do that. So again, 2-foot sides. Top of the wall to the center of the floor is all made out of one piece. Ramps are undermount. These are the same ramps that also come on your 14,000 pounders. Some do a little bit shorter ramps. They do 5-footers. These are the full-size ramps, again, that go on the 14,000s. They're all but 7 foot in length. Also, extra marker lights. Only required to have your stop turn tails on the outsides and center markers. This actually has an extra set on either side. Also notice these corner posts. This trailer's prepped for rear jack stands. So if you're loading anything more substantial, a lot of guys aren't on a 6Y. They're not loading equipment that much. But if you are loading equipment, ask us. Good chance we're going to have those jack stands in stock. Let's go ahead and put the bed up on this. So the tarp kit, generally, I do get asked occasionally how long it is. It's generally about 4 foot longer than what the trailer is. So if you do put high sides on here, generally you have enough fabric to make it. Now you notice the notch in the bed, that's to go down over the I-beam. It used to not be that way, but now you've got a little bit of a nestled bed frame. So if you look, the outer bed frame actually wraps around, the outer tube bed frame wraps around the I-beam frame, saves you a little bit of deck height. Traditionally they're stacked on top of each other, but on this one they nestle it by notching the front there. Cross members on this are 16-inch on center, 3-inch structural channel. Some in the industry use formed. This is structural steel on the underside. Notice your ramps. Ramps on this are a little bit heavier. They're made with a 2.5-inch tread. They're also just a touch wider. If you're keeping count on feature differences, scissor hoist on this, standard equipment. Standard with a 5/16 scissor. It's the same scissor that you'll find on their DT8314072 14,000-pound GVW trailer. So again, you get a better look at the I-beam frame here. You'll notice they do gusset it out, top, bottom, and then you've got your gusset also in the middle for that. You've also got reinforcements perpendicular in front and then doubled up behind, and also another gusset. You've got your grease zerks for serviceability. I believe on the scissor there's 5 or 6. I believe there's top, bottom. You got yours in the center there as well. Other little differences. The scissor on this, that's I believe 1/4-inch wall tube. A lot are going to be angle or channel, so a little bit heavier on the scissor mechanism itself. Again, the bed frame we said is channel, not formed. Ramps are undermount. Fully sealed wire harness. It is the cold weather harness. On the harness, they do have a disconnect, so if you ever want to test them out, you can. This is available in different lengths. 10 foot's also fairly common, but 10 foot, because of the scissor, would be a side mount ramp. For that reason, we do sell a good bit more of the 12s than we do the 10s. And the only thing really different on this between the 10 and the 14K, quite literally, would be the axles. Everything else, box, ramps, the whole 9 yards, is all the same. And that's why we call this our heaviest duty 6 foot wide, 10,000 GVW dump that we offer. It's a very rugged, well put together trailer. Also, didn't mention, while it is powder coated, they also do a zinc primer on this particular unit. So seen even better results out of the powder coat from Load Trail with that addition about 3 years ago. If you have any questions on this or any of your other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com. Thanks for looking.